Since Instagram was released to the public in 2010, the app has offered a like feature similar to how its now parent company, Facebook, is. Recently, this feature's existence has come into question by its users because it's said to cause anxiety because it allows Instagrammers to compare themselves to others. CEO Adam Mosseri has officially decided to remove likes from the app in several countries for the well-being of the public and has began to test it out in America.
Instagram is one of the largest markets with more than 106 million users and is one of the fastest growing social networking platforms. Instagram has recently been considering taking away the like feature on their app. This is relevant to almost every single one of us in this room because I bet just about all of us currently use or have used the app before.
With this topic comes two different opinions, one of them being the pro side, the side that says that social media should get rid of likes. People believe that getting rid of likes will boost the mental health of teens by increasing their self-confidence and overall image of themselves. This also ties back to the idea of social media addiction in the younger generation. Over 500 million people go on social media every day for an average of over 2 hours a day. There have been links between social media and teen suicide as well, and there are many people who believe that social media and likes should be banned as a whole as well.
Contrary to what Charlie said, there has been much controversy about Instagram likes and how it affects mental health. Likes have to do with a lot with self-esteem and how they're perceived by others. Getting more likes could boost your self-esteem and make you feel better about yourself. For many people, such as influencers or famous people, they feel like their followers should know how many likes they're getting. Recognition from their followers that they like what they're seeing. They can be seen as a sign of success to a specific influencer.
Mary Meseray wrote in the Business Insider that in April, Adam Mosseri, the Instagram CEO, told BuzzFeed that removing likes was about creating a less pressurized environment where people feel comfortable expressing themselves.
Another article by Kurt Wagner, going off that, states that Instagram is going to, their reason is to decrease competitive pressure among people on the photo sharing service.
Yeah, and also according to Ofer Turel, he's a Michigan State cognitive neurologist professor. He said that he kind of made it as an analogy comparing likes to also like a bank account. So he said, imagine if every time you go to a bank you get your balance, but you also see the balance of every other person in that bank. So it's like seeing what everyone else is worth, comparing yourself to other people. In today's society, you're not supposed to see other people's bank accounts, and that's what Instagram is doing. You're not. You shouldn't be able to compare yourself with other people based on just how many likes you get on the post.
Yeah, going off of the same article I just talked about, quotes, followers and likes have made it one of the top places online to compare popularity, so I can kind of understand how that fits in.
And
Go for it, Emma.
there's an influencer, Cristiano Cabaldo, who says that you should make content solely just to get likes. You should like perfect your photo to make other people like it, not just like have people just yep.
And they kind of flip it on the other side now, on the con side, or kind of flipping it, saying that they should keep likes. A lot of them saying that's impacting influencers on Instagram. Kind of the money flow almost for Instagram was those influencers being able to compare the amount of likes they get compared to other people, which is kind of the main revenue for Instagram. What are your kind of thoughts on that in regards to the con side and the impact on the influencers and Instagram?
So the Business Insider by Paige Luskin also wrote that the removal of likes is designed to improve the life of consumers in general. So basic people like you and me that would use the app. But he also wrote that influencers are starting to feel the impact of that change on their account and their brands. Because of course the brands would want people with more likes and more followers to sponsor their brand so that they have more outreach.
I have a specific example that Nicki Minaj even said she'd stop posting on the platform because she's worried that she'd lose followers because her income is going to be.
If you don't work hard, you're always going to stay.
And I read something. It was an LA news kind of news station based in Los Angeles, and it said they sat down with actually a couple of major influencers on Instagram, and she said that most of them aren't affected by the change in likes, Most of them will just kind of rely on comments, their comments section to rely on the comparison between them and other people as well. So take away the likes and fill it in with comments. Who has more comments? Which account has more active comments instead of the likes? Do you think that's kind of an easy solution to the Instagram thing, or do you think it's still kind of a? Do you think likes kind of still should be involved in Instagram?
Some argue that there's also
I think for I know Instagram has you can turn off commenting on certain posts, but why can't you turn off likes? What's kind of the difference that kind of goes with that? What's kind of the difference between commenting and likes?
They said, in Business Insider again, Paige Luskin said that the platform has already been testing out what it would look like without the like, claiming that the feature will help reduce its social impacts on mental health and societal pressure. So basically the like feature won't be hidden completely. Users who post the photo will be able to see the number of likes on their own post, but it won't be open information to the public. But of course, the user themselves could share that information if they like, which also ties back into businesses wanting to, what's the word? Use them to sponsor posts. So influencers could share the amount of likes they have, but it could be easily altered or photoshopped to be to lie about it. So that goes more into warping the image that you're showing to the society.
I also found an article by Refinery 29. It said the same thing, you're going to be able to see your own amount of likes, but other people aren't going to be able to see those. So yeah.
Which I think would be better.
I think Instagram was made for people to share out their pictures, not to be able to compare to other people. And that's actually what Instagram came out and said on that same LA news organization that I talked about earlier, is that Instagram came out and said that the purpose of it was to be able to share pictures and being able to connect with other people, not be able to compare who's better in a sense or who's more popular in a sense, and I think that's why they got rid of it. But I don't think we're talking about more of the mental health aspect of this, is that the social media addiction is an actual real thing. Many people in our generation especially are affected by social media addiction, and Instagram came out and said that they think that this will help people not be so connected to their phones or their social media accounts, and help them kind of feel more comfortable, a safer environment on Instagram by getting rid of likes. Did you guys see anything on that when you were doing your research?
I did. Again, the same article by Refinery 29, kind of contributing to mental health issues. People now, always, but they're paying for likes. They're buying likes and they're buying followers, and I think that has something to do obviously with mental health and their how comfortable they feel with themselves, and obviously when people are buying likes and buying followers, it is damaging because they're feeling the need to have more.
Going off what Charlie said a little bit earlier, I found a similar quote in our shared article from Forbes, where Instagram themselves said, we want your followers to focus on what you share, not the number of likes you have. During this test, only the person who shares the post will see the total number of likes you get. So that's based on what I said earlier. But the main point is that Instagram themselves says that they want their followers to express what they want when they post on Instagram. And they even said to Esquire, another company, that we will make decisions that hurt the business if they help people's well-being and health. And that's from the CEO of Instagram, Adam Mosseri. So they're willing to lose money if people don't like the upgrade, even just to help some people who it does affect their mental health.
And from the same shared article, they have people concentrate on the posts and interacting with people on the app. But in some cases, some people, if they don't get enough likes, they delete the post, which is negatively affected.
Into the same shared article, it said that many teens show an unhealthy obsession with social media in general. A lot of it has to do with the comparison between likes, who is most popular on Instagram. I think the main basis that Instagram wanted to talk about was creating the safer environment for people. And it seems like the main argument on the con side is that it'll affect the revenue side, the influencers, they won't be able to get their posts out and be able to make their money. Do you guys have anything else that maybe was on the con side other than the influencers rather getting affected?
I had one by Ari Paul where it says likes are a good metric to prove your art is high quality, that there is validation in your ideas and content. So whenever you get a lot of likes, you just feel better about yourself, and you feel like what you're posting is good for everyone.
I saw something similar to that on one of the articles we read, and it was a more famous account who posted, a picture at a beach with their husband, and then the almost same exact picture from a less popular account, and the popular account got 1 million likes on this one photo, and the exact same photo got maybe 80 likes. So it's like the same picture, so the art is like the same. It's just based on what your outreach is and how many followers you are. And that can of course affect mental health when you see the same art or pictures getting a lot less likes because of who you are.
I thought it says right here questions from the audience.
No, we're just doing written ones today.
Speaking of
okay.
mental health, an article by APS states that
What?
like
I would
some
never
of
told about. Can you
some
speak
of the
up
same
in the
brain
hall?
circuits that are activated by like eating something you like or winning money or like something that makes you happy, like releases those like dopamine chemicals in your brain, are the same when teenagers like see a large number of likes like on their own photos. So I don't know. I think it just connects again with mental health. Like if you're not getting enough likes, like you're gonna be like upset about it. But like when you do get like a lot of likes or whatever, like your brain actually does release like happy like chemicals.
Yeah, and according to LANAG.com, which is another newspaper article, it said that influencers that they talked to around 5 to 10 influencers that they talked to said they were very excited for getting rid of likes for the mental health awareness part of it. So again, tying back to the influencers, it seems like most people most people in a general sense are kind of agreeing with getting rid of likes. Even the influencers who are getting most impacted on Instagram, they're doing tests in Australia right now. There have been some like unreported things about U.S. testing. I don't know if that's true or not, but there have been some tests in Australia and stuff like that.
Going off that, an Esquire article that was written by Olivia Obigan said this week Instagram launched a trial that hides likes, and this was in November, so this was not too long ago, that they launched a trial that hides likes for users in the USA for the first time. Beginning in July, they hid it from 7 different countries around the world and tested it out in countries like Australia, Canada, Japan, and a handful of other places. If it works there, then we should expect a change to roll out globally very soon.
One thing I actually took from that is that all of these articles are pretty close together in regards to timeline. All the articles that I read were in the 2019 range.
Yeah, this is happening right now.
Yeah, April, May, November, even as early as November. So this is a new topic that people are really talking about, starting to gain, some traction here late. But yeah, I mean, like all of these are really close together.
I feel like taking away the likes can also just make Instagram more casual. You can just post whatever you want. Like prejudge if you don't get so many likes.
How do you guys feel personally when a post doesn't get a lot of likes, or it does? Does it make you feel any different?
Sometimes.
Personally, not really. I
I
don't
feel the
really
same way.
care that much. What do you think, Emma?
You can
We got 2 Emmas here.
It depends. Like if you put like a lot of effort into a post, and then it doesn't do as well as you thought it would, lower yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I've like seen it in like my friends and like people that I know, and like this post like didn't really get many likes. So like I've seen people like delete things because like they didn't get very many likes.
Or posting at a certain time to get more likes or more attention on the photo. I used to be somewhat like that, like caring about the number I get on the post or how many comments. But for the past few years, I haven't really even considered it because I realized it's just a number on a picture, which shouldn't really amount to anything anything in your life other than what it is. It's just an Instagram post.
And to kind of flip it, do you think the pressure's more on likes and comments or on how many followers a person has on Instagram?
I think at this age, we're really focusing on likes themselves other than followers, because followers are more like famous people who are trying to get brand deals. You have this many followers, so you can get this many brand deals or this much money for a brand deal.
Do you guys agree with that, Emma?
Yeah.
So more the pressure on the like side.
Yeah, but more what Isabel was saying, like how she started like to not care as much, like started to realize it was just a number. I think that's might be like what Instagram's trying to like get at and make more people realize is that like it really is just a number, and a number on a screen is not really something that should be a huge deal to people.
It shouldn't define you, like even if even it doesn't necessarily mean your post was good or bad depending on how many likes you get. It's just,
Yeah.
And tying into the comments thing, so take likes away from Instagram. Now it's mainly comments that are focusing on the popularity engagement between users. Do you think that's a suitable replacement for likes?
I think it might become like something like, oh, since we take likes away, let's see how many comments like we get now.
Or more based off followers at our age.
Right.
I don't know, when I thought of like them getting rid of likes and then keeping comments, the first thing I thought was that everyone's gonna comment like the word like.
Oh, yeah.
And then like the amount of comments that everyone,
I can see that.
you know what I mean? Like that's the first thought that I had was like everyone's just gonna go against Instagram and say like.
yeah, I feel like maybe people would be saying more positive things too, because likes aren't there anymore. Okay, so you actually say like you like this person's post, not just like it.
I personally think that comments matter more than likes, not in a sense of the number of comments you get, but like the quality of comments or who comments. I think it's a lot more heartwarming than seeing like a big number under your picture.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like personally, like when I like see some people that I don't even know like comment on like something that I posted, like makes me happy. Like I'd rather see that than see like a bigger number of likes.
I think that Instagram's getting a lot more popular as an app, especially recently, and other apps too, like, has gone a little bit downhill, but it's also similar in the sense that it has like buttons. And I don't know if this is real, but the dislike button, was that ever?
I don't know, but I think that'd be a bad thing.
It is.
Facebook had a dislike button. Yeah, I mean YouTube had a dislike button too. It's a social media platform. But I want to touch on Emma. You mentioned it earlier. You said the more positivity coming into Instagram, and one of the main problems is like cyberbullying and people being just mean on social media platforms, especially on Instagram. Do you think taking away the likes would help that cyberbullying, bullying? And create more positivity in the social media platforms, especially Instagram, or do you think it's more just on paper it'll work, but really when it comes down to it, it's not really gonna work?
Probably won't work because you'll still be able to comment. Well, they can like see how many people like it.
What do you think?
I don't know. I can see it going like both ways, but.
Okay, to wrap things up, let's take a poll. How many of you think that Instagram should remove likes completely? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the rest of you think that they should keep likes and just keep it like the original Instagram like it has been? Alright, that's interesting. I think that our group was split half and half for who thinks that it should remove them or not. Anyone else? Any closing statements?
So, like we talked about, there's like obviously a big variety of reasons on why Instagram should or should not keep the likes on their platform. So, are they going to end up doing it? Should they do it? Like, I think the only thing that's going to tell is time. So.
I think the Australia trials and stuff like that and all the other ones will show like, will the popularity decrease in Instagram by getting rid of likes, or will it stay the same? So it's gonna be interesting to see what comes out of the European international test here last year, I guess, whatever you wanna call it.
Thank you.
Alright, go ahead.